Am I wrong?
It's called common sense.
Am I wrong? Lock in, bro.
It's called common sense,
Lock
man.
in, bro.
It's called common sense.
These are just facts, bro. I'm sorry. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. It's
Yeah,
cool
but
talking to you, though.
The base of his argument was you lose.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
Do you know how to make a sandwich?
Yeah, I do. Want me to teach you?
No, thank you. That's a woman's job.
I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end, yeah.
So, you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be. We are the makers.
Bro, what is he talking about? What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP back at it again with another video, and today we are doing another reaction to Old Meezy. And the video is debate content is wasting your time. Like with the emoji, your time. So hey, it looked like a fresh and fit thing. Hey, we just about to get into it. I don't know what he gonna be talking about. We just I know I'm gonna drop some gems, so we're gonna do that. Before we get into the video, do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Mostly for me, but do it for yourself too. Hit the like button so this content can get shared around the platform. And also hit the subscribe button so you can join the Prosper gang. There's a lot of prosperity going on around this mug. So without further ado, let's just get into the video.
All right, this is what you need to do. Generally, women should be in the kitchen. Change my mind.
How about this? How about you set up a table? You put generally women should be in the
We
kitchen
can
on the
set
other
the table
side.
up.
And then you can go ahead
We
and
can
do
set
that.
the table up. It ain't
But-
gonna be no argument. Everybody gonna agree with me because it's facts.
Yeah, sure. Then you could go ahead and set up a table and do that for your channel.
Do you admit there's millions of women out there that flourish pursuing their career?
That is a minority.
Do you admit that it exists though?
Bro, this nigga just here to argue, bro.
Do you
All
admit
right,
that
let's
it
go to the next
exists?
A minority. I mean, not in this day and age. I would think it's like a, like a 50-50. I don't think it's so much a minority. I think it's just as much as men at this point. Like maybe back then, like in the 1980s, it might have been a minority, but in the 2020s, bro, it's just the norm. Like he's saying it like it's no. I think that's pretty normal. In fact, and not to get too long winded, but in fact, I know it be situations where I know women, like, it'd be siblings, right? And it's like one girl and like a bunch of boys or whatever, or a few girls and a few boys, whatever. And like, it's always the girls like outpacing the boys for whatever reason. So, yeah, but that's a whole different video in itself. But let's just continue.
No, bro.
Hey, he's scared to debate me, y'all.
No,
Hey,
you're making an argument for the exception and the minority.
the exception is way bigger than you think. That's all I'm saying. You acting like it's 1%. It might be 10. It might be 15. It might be 20. It definitely ain't 1
It's
in
still the
2025.
minority, bro.
Yeah, I still don't even think it's the minority. Like I said, I think it's like 50 at this point, like a 50-50 split, just about, if not 40-50. I mean, I guess you could say that's minority, but that's just stupid. Whatever.
Come on, am I wrong?
It's called common sense.
Am I wrong? Lock in, bro.
It's called common sense,
Lock
man.
in, bro.
It's called common sense.
These are just facts, bro. I'm sorry. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. It's
Yeah,
cool
but
talking to you, though.
The base of his argument was you losing hoes. That's why I was like, all right, bro.
Come on, Myron. Stand in the fire. You finally met your match. Somebody who's going to give you a taste of your own medicine, and you can't even do it. But this is why I say this style of content has to be the stupidest style of content in the world. I've talked about debate style content on this channel before, and I'm very critical of specifically platforms like Jubilee, who do the one versus style of content. And honestly, it's never anything productive. It's just rage baity and clickbaity the whole time.
I'm going to say this about debate style content. All right, hear me out. So this is what it is with debates in this day and age. It might be different like in the 90s, the early 2000s maybe even, but like the 90s and prior, before that. But anything from the 2010s plus, it just is, especially in the 2020s. Especially in the 2020s, debate style content is a waste of your time. And the reason why I'm saying that is because most people know where they stand on the spectrum of whatever type of subject matter that is being spewed out. Most people know what side of the spectrum they stand on, right? So because of that, all you doing is having a conversation with a wall. They're hearing you, but they're not listening. A lot of people in this day and age that when it comes to this debate style content, and I can even be a victim of this, of my own theory, right? I'm not above my own theory. I'm probably in this bucket too. So the way I get my theories, a lot of times I'm in the same bucket I'm talking about, right? And I'm not just projecting, I'm just being authentic, right? So anyway, with this style of debate content in this day and era, a lot of people are a lot of people are stuck in their own mind frame, right? They're not moving. You can't convince them to switch out. You're talking to a wall, right? You're talking to people that already made their mind up. They're not going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. They already made their mind up. They're stuck in their side, and you really talking to yourself at that point. You're not making any progress because people, whatever beliefs they have, they really have them. Now, if you're talking about people that's on the fence, that's one thing. But people that's really stuck in their beliefs and already have it, and a lot of times these debate content have people on two sides of the spectrum. It's not necessarily you have people that's in the middle trying to convince people to join either side. It's normally people on both sides arguing, and the people in the middle are the people in the audience. And I guess with that, it could make a break, but at the end of the day, it really don't. You know what I mean? Most people are just fighting to win a battle that just ain't worth even fighting. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people are stuck in where they at. And in this day and age, people just don't have that level of thought, because the algorithm, right? The reason why I say that, right, is because we have algorithms now that feed you, that is built for echo chambers, right? We have algorithms that is built for echo chambers. And with that, people have unlimited amount of content and resources that feeds into their side of the spectrum. Unlimited, right? So arguing with me, I'm one drop in this unlimited amount of resources that tell you to go to the other side, and you telling me my one little bit of drop of enthusiasm, charisma, and all that, it's gonna be enough to sway you over to the other side. It's just not, right? So that's why it's really a waste of your time, because the algorithm is gonna feed you what you want to hear. That's just what it is, because it wants to keep you on these platforms. So having conversations with people that really just don't really not here to hear you out. It's just for fun. Like, we trying to see who makes the most sense. Like, who can. It's kind of like a boxing match. Like, we just boxing to see who gonna give up first. And not saying who right. It's just who you arguing with. You know what I mean? So it's really a waste of time. And I get what he's saying on that, but we're gonna see what he got to say.
But I'm not a fan of pretty much any debate style content on the internet, and this video is the reason why.
Spit it out.
No, well, Asians tend to have views, followed by white people, then followed by Hispanics, and then Africans tend to have the lowest.
And I can't argue with them numbers, but no IQ study is ever controlled environment.
Okay.
Like, the conclusions aren't valid. They don't control for environment. Environment heavily affects IQ.
Now, what the young man is saying is factually true. When you do these studies or these experiments,
He
it's
is
something
smart.
that you
I
learn
fucks with
in
him.
middle school, hell, even elementary school for some people. That when you're doing some sort of experiment, there are certain variables and factors that have to take into consideration. Things like environment, things like food, things like, you know, parents being in the household. There's so many factors to take into consideration, but the way that the internet does these sorts of conversations or debates literally just puts this broad brushstroke on the picture so they can paint their narrative however they would like. Now, Myron is smart enough to know that this is to be true, so he can't outright refute it, but he damn sure looks flustered when this is approached to him, because he's never had anybody debunking arguments so fast to say that, hey, the material that you use, these weak ass studies, this 2001 report that you use is.
Yeah, because everything, a lot of time, not everything is anecdotal, right? Not everything is anecdotal, but people are more complex than these like studies like to say. Like, you have to understand that like he said, environment shapes IQ, environment shapes circumstance, and environment shapes can sometimes shape outcome, right? So like we can paint people with a wide brush, but you don't know how people grew up. You don't know what circumstances they live in. You don't know what environments and the people they have around them. So things can change. Even me, like I like to give assumptions about things. Like I can assume X and Y is going to happen based off the information I have. But granted, I don't have all the information. I don't know all the exclusive details that make that person unique to where I can find out that person's particular outcome based off their patterns or the way they think, because I just don't know them like that, or I don't know their outcome or circumstances like that to be able to, I mean, not outcome, but I don't know their circumstances or their resources or their environment enough to make an accurate assumption. But I can make a general assumption based off what most people do. But again, because of people's circumstances and environments will shape, and even something as simple as where you grew up can make a big difference in what your outcome look like. But again, you can make a general assumption, but just looking at studies and just painting everybody with a brush is lazy. And you just trying to be like a guru to try to push a narrative so you can just get extra followers and extra naive people that also don't think with their brain to follow you because they just don't know no better. But people that actually are wise and are critical thinkers, like I'm not like the best book smart person. Like I'm not the smartest book smart person. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. But I'm a critical thinker and I am a pretty wise dude. You know what I mean? I lived enough life. I'm 31. You know what I mean? I lived enough life to know that everything ain't black and white. Shit is deep, nigga. Stuff is deep. It's really deep. And because it's so many complex and different things that play out into everybody's situation, that's why nobody naturally on a more average sense, nobody on average get the same exact results. It's different in every little bit of way because of your circumstance. So yeah.
Selective research. Now, the rest of the conversation depicts exactly what's wrong with this, as opposed to taking in that information that Myron just got from this young man. You know, the information that he probably already knew before, but decided just to leave it out. Instead of taking that in, rephrasing the statement, you know, retracting it or doing any sort of other configuration of a new statement, he decides to continue to push forward and fight forward in order to get his clip off.
Your argument is basically that it's not controlled for environment, so therefore it's not valid?
Exactly that. You agree? Wait, hold on. Did I just change your mind that fast?
No, you didn't.
None of those studies control for environment. You take somebody like me, for example, my environment, lead paint in the walls, lead in the water.
It's like, no, you're a human, you're able to make decision, you have will, you're able to decide what you want to do.
Him being a human being and being born into a place that has lead paint in the walls and lead in the water doesn't have anything to do with him having free will and autonomy and agency. Myron can't even...
Right. It has everything to do with influence. People play on your ignorance, right? So you can have all that. Like I say, your environment, with the lack of resources, you are ignorant to shit. So regardless of free will or not, if you free will, let's put everything on an even scale. Free will is really free will when everybody has the same amount of, when everybody is not half. Well, you can say half, but everybody has and has available and is given. Okay, given is the right word. That's the word I was looking for. When everybody is given the same amount of resources, the same amount of information, and the same amount of environment to be brought up in, at that point, then free will is free will to where everybody has an even playing field. But if any one of those things changes, it's still free will, yes, right? Technically, it's still free will. But with ignorance comes influence. So if you lose one of those things, let's say you lose access to resources. Now, because you don't have access to resources, you don't know you don't have access to resources. You just don't have them, right? I mean, it's a little bit more prevalent now that we have like all this technology. You can kind of be more aware, but in general, still, most people still don't know they don't have access to these resources. So because they don't know that, that alone is enough to change and ship shape and shapeshift, my bad, and shapeshift some of their decision makings and outcomes, because they don't have available those resources. But let's say they got the resources, but they don't have the environment is different now, because people, we are social creatures. I can just go long-winded with this, but we are social creatures. So because we are social creatures, we want to fit into the environment that we spend the most time in. So because of that, certain things you should do, you might not do, because you want to fit into the environment and you were brought up in, so you don't become an outcast or outsider and lack social skills or whatever. So because of that, you don't make certain decisions. So because of that particular thing, now your outcome is a lot different. Everything, like he said, it don't take into account of environment and circumstance. It don't. And that is a big deal to why things play out the way it do. Anyway, let's continue.
Be genuine in this conversation and just acknowledge that, hey, you know what, maybe I've never thought of that before, or maybe I am wrong, my thinking here is wrong. Instead, he continues to push forward, because in the nature of content that he does, he knows that there is some sort of clip to be found in this, even if it means being as egregious and disingenuous as possible whenever you're debating.
Because he can't take no L, and his brand is being argumentative. So him agreeing just fucks his brain up. So he has to argue. He has to find a loophole, or not even find a loophole. Just be disingenuous in general, because the people that follow him already naive enough to not have a clean debate back with him. Like if you follow Myron and you look at him as a smart individual, like a very smart individual, obviously you don't have a lot of critical thinking skills. So if Myron don't have a debate back, you lose respect for him, which then causes him to lose viewers and cause him to lose money. So to save face, he just has to argue, because the people that follow him don't know no difference anyway. So they just gonna be like, yeah, Myron, get him. When the people that's actually smart and listening to the other guy know, like, bro, you just arguing just to argue. Like you already lost and you just arguing to argue. But these are the smart people we talking about. The people that follow Myron, unfortunately, yeah.
One of these college kids.
Do you know how to make a sandwich?
Yeah, I do. Want me to teach you?
No, thank you. That's a woman's job.
I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end, yeah.
So you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be sluts. We are the slut makers.
Bro, what is he talking about? Bro, listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna stopping the video. I'm gonna let y'all watch some of this, because I'm before I know this video is already about to be 20 minutes. Listen, I realize on this YouTube thing, there is a platform for everybody. If there's a platform for Myron, there is a platform for me too. I mean, if there's a space for Myron on YouTube, there's a space for me too. Matter of fact, because of that, hit the subscribe button and join the Prosper gang, because there's a lot of prosperity going on around this mug. And obviously in Myron's camp, it ain't that much. So we need to make up for it, for what he lacking. So hit the like and subscribe button. I would very much appreciate that, because it's definitely a space for me on this thing. It's definitely a space for me on this thing. If Myron got a space, come on, dog. If he can garner all that traffic and views, bro, come on, man. Make a space for your boy. Make your space for your boy, please. Because there's a lot of prosperity going on around this mug. Join the Prosper gang. T-shirts coming soon.
This girl's over here trying to call me a slut. Hey, we're the slut makers, man. There's no such thing as a man that's a slut.
This is the nature of this content. No fact checks, just vibes, who can be the loudest, and who can say the most outrageous things that'll end up going viral on Twitter the next day. It's tired. Honestly, it is extremely, extremely tired. Especially when these things are posed as intellectual conversations where two people are trying to, come to...
The bar is low for that. I'm sorry. It's not. But because of the fact that we have to argue with stupid takes, means yeah, it's kind of low.
some sort of conclusion, maybe get some
Like I shouldn't have to defend a righteous take with something completely outlandish. Like this shouldn't even be an argument. Like why am I even talking to you? But this is the age of the internet, so now we gotta do it. We gotta argue to keep things correct, I guess.
somebody to change their mind. But it's not really a change my mind, especially when you say things that are as vague as, oh, well, all women do this. And then when somebody says you should probably change the statement to more generalities, you refute even that as an option. Like there's nothing to be gained in this but clip farming as opposed to an intellectual debate.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell
could be-
you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No,
Yeah, move. Now, I do think Jordan Peterson is pretty smart, but I do think some people are too smart for their own good to where like they the notoriety of being smart and the brand of being smart has taken over their moral compass to the point to where now they just say something stupid because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get away with it because people think I'm smart. No, bro, you are really overdoing it, nigga. I'm just keeping it a buck, nigga. You doing too much, bro. Like not every argument has to be on a super like deep level. Some arguments or some debates can be on the surface. You know what I mean? Some debates don't have to go that crazy. It just blankety blank, boom. Some of them you gotta go blankety blank, boom. And some of them it just blank, boom. But you got this nigga that's like, no, everything is blankety blank, boom. That's Jordan Peterson right there.
you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
I mean, hey, he cooking. Hey, he cooking because you just giving him all the space.
I'm done with him.
Even when presented with something that just seems to be irrefutable, or at least would have you stop, pause, and think, this can't be enough for these people that participate or initiate these debates or these change your mind series. Because ultimately, it's not about, you know, the other person changing somebody's mind or even being open and available to that. It is about not looking like a jackass and winning the debate. But I think that that's even disingenuous and nasty, because why are we trying to win in some things that are conversations about things that actually have harm and actually hurt people instead of,
because social media, like I said, this type of content falls in the same lane as clickbait, rage bait, all that. It's all this content, just like music, is meant to spark an emotion out of you. If I spark an emotion out of you, you're more likely to stay engaged. Sometimes it ain't even about the information. That's why like boring lectures, even though they're correct, don't get a lot of views because they don't spark an emotion. They're just information based. See, the goal for this, right? The goal for this type of content, reaction content, podcast content, if you're a smart individual or intellectual individual, the way you're going to gain success out of these type of platforms, YouTube, anything entertainment based, you have to mix information with knowing how to spark an emotion, which is like entertainment, keeping them entertained, but learning how to spark an emotion out of them. If you only information based, but you don't know how to spark an emotion, you are going to fail. I would say somebody that knows how to spark an emotion, but is stupid as hell, Myron, will have more success on the platform than somebody that is correct and actually knowledgeable but lacks the ability to spark an emotion. That's just how it works. So you got to know how to spark an emotion out of people, because if you don't, you are just going to fail. And the reason why these platforms are going to the fact to where they know these two people are not, if I was a platform like these, I get why they do it like this. Because why would I get two people? Why would I get somebody that's actually trying to change somebody's mind? That's boring. It's not boring, but it's not as exciting. It's getting two people on opposite ends that's not going to move from their opposite ends. And they're arguing using clickbait words, using trigger words, because it's all about the audience, right? So they're using these words, engaging with the audience. The audience is getting triggered and it's keeping them engaged. The audience, like he said in the video, content like this is wasting your time, because it is. It's not teaching you much. I mean, you can learn from it if you're actually listening. But if you're here, which most people are, here for the emotional side of it, the part that hooks you and keeps you from leaving, then you're probably not learning nothing, right? You're probably not. You're here for the emotional attachment you have to it. So you already know when you clicked on this video what side you on. You just want your side to win, because you're not here to learn nothing. You're here to be emotionally triggered, and you want your emotional side to win the battle. You're not here to learn nothing. A few of I would say maybe like 5-10% of people that watch this content is here to learn. Like for me, I'm a person that sits in the middle of a lot of these conversations. So I really want to hear both sides. And I learn the perspectives of both sides. I'm like, okay, this is a perspective I agree with on this side. And on this side, nah, I kind of agree with this perspective. So then I get to merge my own beliefs and create a general assumption of what I believe. And then I throw it on y'all on this video. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. But so that's generally how that works. But most people tune into this on some emotional shit. And they already know before they clicked on the video what side. And sometimes I'm like this too. So I'm not above this either. In certain videos, I already know what side I'm on. That's why I know how I'm talking, what I'm talking about. Sometimes you click on this video and you already know what side you already on. So you ain't even going into the video hearing nobody out. You just want your side to win. And that's why, like he said, this debate content is wasting your time. Because it is. And it's not wasting your time necessarily because it's bad. It's wasting your time because you going in it for the wrong reasons. Go in it for the right reasons. Go in it because you actually want to hear both sides. Be a little bit more open-minded. Well, the problem is, like I said earlier in this video, these algorithms have certain these algorithms have ecosystems. Not ecosystems, but echo chambers is what I'm trying to say. They have echo chambers. So because of these echo chambers, you are less likely to think. I ain't gonna say think for yourself, but you're less likely to want to hear the other side, right? And because of that, you're not going into that video trying to hear the other side. You're just going into the video so your other side can win the battle. And like I said, that's just wasting your time. Find something productive to do that you actually gonna learn from. Because you're not learning from this. You're not trying to learn from it. And the people that's arguing is just getting an ego stroke. You know, they're just getting more clicks, more views. But they're trying to win the battle too. For you. For their audience. They're not winning it to learn nothing. They're winning it for their audience. Because sometimes I could be in a debate with somebody, like, I don't always agree with Omeezy. But Omeezy might say something, I'm like, you know what? Y'all know what, y'all actually take his advice. He actually know. But you do lose some credibility for that. You do. If you got a person that you stand on your square and now you believing in the other person, you might lose some credibility. But it ain't about that. It's about you being transparent and people can trust you. You know what I mean? But obviously in this day and age, when you got echo chambers for echo chamber for a algorithm and dumb people that just follow people that say we make the sluts, you know what I mean? Then at that point you really just kind of like a lose for lose. So it's like you pick a side or just don't waste your time. But yeah, I got long-winded, but I feel like that needed to be said.
Having a pill to swallow, Myron wants to make sure that I'm in control of this clip and we bring it back to where I want to. Because the bottom line is I can't handle if I am being exposed in public.
These people are in different conditions. That might affect the outcome of the numbers.
Okay, look, We could
I'm
sit here.
2 for 2 right now.
Bro, you ain't 2 for nothing,
I'm
bro.
2 for
No, he is eating them, but it's an ego thing. Like you see, he counting. He 2 for 2. He just want to win. But he is. He's spanking them though. He is.
You're not 2 for
fucks.
nothing, bro. Like, bro, you're not 2 for nothing, bro. Like, the reality is you're over here saying, oh, it doesn't account for society.
And now he about to argue to save face because his audience cannot see him lose, because then it would affect his bottom line and affect how people perceive him. So now he's just arguing to save face, not because he actually want to be right.
This is a meta-analysis between hundreds of studies on IQ from people all across the world. And what
All
they
across
found
the
is,
world in different
here's the bottom
conditions.
line.
Now he leaning on them because he ain't got no argument for himself. He just leaning on them.
Bro, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is this. Asians score the highest, whites score second highest, Latinos are behind them, and blacks tend to be at the bottom. Because you're literally making excuses saying, well, oh, they didn't account for this or they didn't account for that. When in reality, they probably did.
They probably did. Myron, this is your study that you're presenting. Did you even read it? You should be able to understand the nuances and the details
'cause
of the
he leaning on
realities
them.
of the
He
reports
leaning
and
on
studies that you're bringing to the table to present as facts like you do. Or are you just reading things surface level, getting, perspectives and opinions and studies on your side of the internet, using targeted keyword searches only in order to further your talking point? Like, oh my God, be genuine for
You're not a
one
critical
single
thinker.
second. But you know what really grinds my gears about this sort of content?
real
There's a
one,
level
anyway.
of disingenuousness that I learned when I watched friend of the show Saji's channel. You see, these people that get into this debate style content, like Charlie Kirk, usually go to college campuses and usually target freshmen and try to pose it as some sort of greater good that they're doing for society. We're talking to adults, and it's time to stop talking to adults like children. The people that are either 17 or just turned 18 and they're freshmen on campuses and they don't really know what's going on. It's cool to get them riled up for the clip, but when I saw
Cause it's an emotional thing. They gonna get emotionally triggered. Not all of them. Some of them smart as hell, but a lot of them are gonna get emotionally triggered. So you have the upper hand on them, especially if you know that's what the case. But then they also emotionally triggered too. They just a little bit older, so they kind of know the game.
Saji's video and discovered how disgusting Charlie Kirk
I'm 31. You can't play that with me.
actually was, I knew that this was just to a whole different level.
Charlie Kirk has essentially built his career on going to college campuses and clip farming and embarrassing innocent college students who just want to stand up to this small-faced man. But that's not the way he frames it.
Why do you, as like a professional pundit, think it's fair to come to college campuses and debate like college freshmen? Like, doesn't that seem like kind of unfair to you?
Well, hold on. I mean, let's stop talking down to college kids. I'm talking to voters, right? Or why don't you go bring a professor and bring him up to the mic?
Okay, well,
Charlie, maybe professors aren't debating you because, one, they understand how pointless it is, and two, you're fucking reporting them for being pro-Palestine. Turning Point USA reported on a number of college professors who have espoused blatant support for Hamas and have promoted anti-Semitic sentiment.
Turning Point USA being Charlie Kirk's nonprofit organization. These professors who are teaching at these different universities, who champion different voices and different opinions, etc., for the sake of education, now have to fear coming up to you. So you claim as if it's a safe environment for them to come up to you, but then all of a sudden you make it unsafe to the point where they are losing their jobs over these sorts of things. Charlie, let's be genuine. It doesn't matter which type of debate style content I watch on the internet today. It could be another Candace Owens 1v20. It could be House of Highlights doing a one Angel Reese fan versus 10 Angel Reese haters.
All right, I'm gonna let this video play out because I gotta get to the next one. But listen. Always remember, people are gonna play on your ignorance. That is exactly what they're gonna do. They are going to play on your ignorance. Sit back and think about it. Why is things framed the way? Don't be ignorant. And, I mean, we all going to be ignorant, but try to understand the circumstance you're in and be self-aware of what you get yourself into before you get into these debates. But most importantly, go into these debates with an open ear, not just an open heart. Because going into it with an open heart locks your ears and you ain't hear shit. With that being said, subscribe to Omeezy. Shout out to Omeezy. He doing his thing, man. He intellectual. I like smart people. I feel like I am a a great critical thinker. Like I said, I'm not the best book smart. Don't talk about college and all the technical shit. But if you want to talk about critical thinking in life, wisdom and experiences, and the way we gotta live this life, you got a nigga you playing with. Cause I'm really like that. But shout out to Old Meezy. He one of the ones too. But anyway, go follow him, subscribe to him. But also, hit the like button for me. And subscribe for me. Because again, if there's a place for Myron, Lord knows what the place for me looks like. There's a place for me too. So join the Prosper Gang, hit the like and subscribe button. And always remember, there is nothing impossible to they who try. Till next time I'm out. Dose.